the number one reason why couples get divorced is not because budgeting disagreements, it's not because of different levels of religion, it's not because the husband might have messed up with certain things, or the woman might have messed up with certain things. The number one reason why couples get divorced is because when one of the spouses shows a bid for attention, for affection, for appreciation, they say, "How was your day?" And the other one says, "Fine," right? When that happens, that's the number one reason for divorce. When the person is not present, when the hearts are not turned towards each other. Because couples can disagree, and it's normal and it's regular that happens. The question is, do they still love each other? Or do they have a relationship of contempt where they start eye rolling and they have no interest in trying to be there for the other person? This is the researched reason why couples get divorced. And we know that the Ramban says about how do you bring Shekhinah into your home? Ish v'isha zachu, husband and wife, that they have merited it. They zachu, they have Shekhinah amongst them. They have the Shekhinah amongst them. What does it mean that they merited? The letters of Yud and Hey are found in the letters of Ish and Isha. And if they are going to merit it, then they're going to have the Shekhinah. If they're not going to merit it, they're going to have fire, because letters of Esh are there without the Yud and the Hey. And what does it mean that they're going to merit to have the Shekhinah between them? When the husband is in this relationship, emotionally, physically, spiritually, for the wife. I'm here to make you happy. And when the wife is physically there for the husband and doing this for the husband, this relationship, so then there's going to be the Shekhinah amongst them. But if they're in this relationship for themselves, then there's not going to be Shekhinah amongst them. There's going to be fighting amongst them. Why? Because the number one reason of what makes relationships connect or not connect is how present you are in feeling the other person's emotions. We know that the Khurban of the Beit HaMikdash was about the senseless hate, and we know that really means that a person's heart is not with his people that are other Jewish people in his life. We know that the Beit HaMikdash was a place where people had Ruach HaKodesh when they came here. Yonah got prophecy when he was here, and other people got prophecy when they were in the Beit HaMikdash. Yirmiyahu told Plato, the philosopher, that all of his wisdom he got from this Beit HaMikdash. And we have to understand what was special about the Beit HaMikdash that gave people the Ruach HaKodesh. We know that the Miset Yesharim brings down from Tana de Beliyahu that if a person wants to have Ruach HaKodesh in his words, he needs to not only have Torah in his speech, but he has to also feel the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash and feel the lack of the Jewish people being here in Eretz Yisrael. And when he has that, and he feels the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash, then he's going to have Ruach HaKodesh in his words. We have to understand why that brings Ruach HaKodesh. You know that Aharon had on him the breastplate, the Choshen Urim V'Tumim, and with that he had the Ruach HaKodesh. We know that he merited to have such a prophecy because of the fact that when his brother Moshe Rabbeinu came to tell him that he's going to be the leader of the Jewish people, he wasn't just happy for him, he was happy for him in his heart. Now, many times we could be happy for people, but we have a little bit of jealousy inside too? We say, we would also like that. No, but happy in your heart means I'm just thinking about you. I'm just so happy that you have. That's why it's such a great mitzvah to go and to make a Chatan and Kala happy, to show them that I have the same happiness of you in my heart. And that is what brings Ruach HaKodesh. When a person's heart is connected and open, as we find that the whole purpose of the Beit HaMikdash was Shechanti B'tucham, and I will dwell in their hearts. The Beit HaMikdash, the purpose of it was not to have a place to bring Korban. Hashem doesn't need our Korbanot. It was a place for our hearts to express themselves. And this is what it means that the Pasuk tells us first that that a person should give his donations. Kol ish asher debenu libo, right? Each person should give the gift of his heart, and then it says Vasul Mikdash Shechad B'tucham, and then it says, and they will make me a mikdash, and I will dwell amongst them, because the purpose was to have the hearts there for, and it's not the other way around. It's not that Hashem wants to have a Beit HaMikdash, and the way to give it, to have it, is by giving donations. In Parashat Dvarim, it actually calls the Beit HaMikdash Hara Levanon, the mountain of Lebanon. What does it mean, Lebanon? So simply it means that it's the place where it makes the sins, the hearts, makes them white, Lashon Lavan, from the terminology of white. But it also means the fact that this is the place of the hearts, which means to say that the person is coming to the Beit HaMikdash. It was easier to have kavanah here. It was easier for you to express yourself. The whole connection of what we're doing when we were crying for the Beit HaMikdash is all about opening up our hearts for each other, opening up our hearts to Hashem, and through that we are able to connect to Hashem and to be able to have Ruach HaKodesh. And of course, the way that we have to do that is to first try to work on our relationships with our own spouses. And in that way, we are able to bring the Shekhinah in our own homes.